Every week, our mailboxes are stuffed full of things we've never asked for. Political flyers, advertisements, credit card offers. We call it junk mail. But behind this junk mail, there's a hidden cost to our environment, to our wallets, and to our time. Today, we're going to break down the real cost of junk mail. In 2021 alone, the U.S. Postal Service delivered a majority of its mail as advertising mail, 63% to be exact. 63% of all mail being advertising mail comes out to about 66 billion pieces of mail, which is an absolutely staggering number to think about. When you break it down per American, that comes out to about 41 pounds of junk mail in every mailbox in America. The environmental cost of all this junk mail is staggering. To make all the paper required, it requires clear cutting an estimated 100 million trees every year. That's like clear cutting the Rocky Mountain National Park every 4 months. Producing junk mail guzzles nearly 28 billion gallons of water annually, and most of it doesn't get read. Most of it actually doesn't even get recycled. And roughly 4 million tons of landfill waste are attributed to junk mail every single year. And that's not even beginning to scratch the surface of greenhouse gas emissions, which come out to about 51 million metric tons of greenhouse gases a year being attributed to junk mail. That's the same as 9 million cars on the road that year. To put that in perspective, the entire state of New Jersey has 9.5 million people as of the most recent census data. That's nearly the entire population of New Jersey driving a car nonstop all year long. Now, talking about money, the Postal Service requires junk mail as an essential part of its yearly budget. In 2021, the Postal Service made about $14.5 billion in revenue from it, which came out to about a fifth of all revenue from the Postal Service. Local governments spend more than $300 million in tax dollars every year just to collect and process discarded junk mail. Transporting it adds another $550 million. And for individuals, the average American wastes about 70 hours a year sorting through junk mail. Plus, pre-approved credit card offers often put people at risk of identity theft if they're not shredded. So why do we keep getting junk mail? In 2023 alone, U.S. businesses spent about $39 billion on direct mail services. Even if only 2 to 5% of those people respond, that's more than enough to make the campaign profitable. Credit card companies alone mailed 3.6 billion solicitations in 2022, and all that waste is just an expense to them. It's business as usual because a small percentage turn into customers. So here's the weird part. You would think that people would just throw it out. They would ignore it. They would act like it's not even there. For myself, I know that's true. I take junk mail, I realize it's junk mail, I put it in the trash or the recycling. If it's something I'm not sure about, I open it up, I check what it is, and it goes in the trash right away, immediately. I don't think about it, I don't look at it, I don't want to see it. And in fact, some businesses have sent so much junk mail that I have made it a point to never patronize their business because I hate junk mail that much. But that's not the case for most Americans. In fact, actually about half of all junk mail mailed in the US is actually opened and read. A quarter of all junk mail is at least skimmed over to look at what it is. And the last quarter is thrown out without looking at it. Comparing that to email click-through rates and email spam numbers, that's a crazy amount actually. Most email marketing is either filtered out by spam or never looked at ever. Surveys show that more than half of Americans enjoy checking their mail every day. They look forward to it. And nearly 80% of millennials and younger say physical mail tends to grab their attention more than digital. Junk mail works just enough to keep the cycle going. And then there's the political mail. During the 2020 election, the Postal Service handled about 135 million pieces of election mail in just 2 months. Campaigns use bulk mail to blanket entire districts. Even if most recipients toss it without a second thought, research even suggests that these ads rarely change minds or bring in new voters. But yet they persist because campaigns don't want to risk silence in a voter's mailbox. So here's the paradox when it comes to junk mail. The Postal Service relies on it, it being about a fifth of its operational revenue every year. Advertisers depend on it to actually outreach to potential customers, given that email marketing is effectively dead anymore. And a small percentage of people do respond, but at what cost? In trees, water, greenhouse gases, taxpayer money, and wasted time is all dumped on us, on you and I, the people with mailboxes. So what do we do about the problem with junk mail? Well, there are a few services that can help out. Things like opt-out pre-screen can cut back on credit card offers, and DMA Choice can help cut back on marketing emails. The links will be in the description below for both of those. Recycling the mail can potentially reduce damage, although there is an issue with recycling in America and how effective it actually is. And a lot of activists are starting to push towards a national do not mail list, like we have for telemarketers with the do not call list. But until something changes, the junk mail will continue to flow. So the next time you open your mailbox to credit card offers, coupons, and political mailers telling you who to vote for in the next election, I hope you think about what the actual cost of you receiving that mail is as you put it in the recycling bin. Thank you, and goodbye.